Hello, good morning, dear students. I hope you people have been doing well. So, we have just completed the five chapters and the five poems, and simultaneously, we have just completed the first chapter of our supplementary textbook, that is Moments. Fine. So, today we are just moving further with the sixth chapter of our Beehive textbook, and the name of the chapter is My Childhood. So let us just have a look on what actually the chapter is about. Fine. So this chapter, My Childhood, it is an extract from the autobiography of an Abdul Kalam. I mean to say APJ Abdul Kalam, and it has been the extract from the autobiography of APJ Abdul Kalam. The name of the autobiography was Wings of Fire, and this chapter has been a little extract from the life of the APJ Abdul Kalam, that how he spent his childhood. It is an interesting chapter and an interesting story as well. So let us just have a look on the chapter. I was born into a middle class Tamil family in the island town of Rameshwaram in the erstwhile Madras state. So the story starts with the birth of the APJ Abdul Kalam. So the Abdul Kalam means the writer itself is the Abdul Kalam. So he is saying that he was born into a middle class Tamil family in the island town of Rameshwaram in the Tamil Nadu district. There is a state called Madras, and over there Madras means present Chennai, and he is saying that he was born into a town called Rameshwaram. Erstwhile means the former, means पहले जिसका नाम मद्रास स्टेट था. So and the island town of Rameshwaram. My father, Jalaluddin, had neither much formal education nor much wealth. Despite these advantages, he possessed a great initiate wisdom and a true generosity of spirit. So, APJ Abdul Kalam is saying that his father, Jalaluddin, does not have any higher education, or he did not have any such type of a degree of a higher education, nor he was having much wealth. Means his financial condition was not very good, and in spite of these all disadvantages, they possessed a natural wisdom and a true generosity. Means they were having a beautiful and a pure soul. They were not having any feeling like that they would do something wrong to live their life or such type of things. He had an ideal helpmate and my mother, Ashiyamma. So his father was also having an ideal single helpmate, and that helpmate was the mother of APJ Abdul Kalam, and her name was Ashiyamma. I do not recall the exact number of people she fed every day, but I am quite certain that far more outsiders ate with us than all the members of our family put together. So, APJ Abdul Kalam was saying that when he was a small child, he did not remember the exact number of children or the number of people who used to eat or who used to come for a lunch at the house of APJ Abdul Kalam, because his mother was serving the food to the everyone, but number of outsiders used to come over there to feed, and her mother used to feed them, and after that only her family you have to take their lunch. I was one of the children, a short boy with rather undistinguished looks, born to tall and handsome parents. So he is saying that he was one of the many children. So there were 3 4 brothers and sisters of APJ Abdul Kalam as well. So he is saying that he was a short boy with an ordinary look, and he was born tall and handsome. So he was also looking tall and handsome like his parents. We lived in an ancestral house which was built in the middle of the 19th century. It was a fairly large pakka house made of limestone and brick on the Mosquito Street in the Rameshwaram. So they used to live in the ancestral house. Ancestral house means such type of a house. Either we should say कि पुराने ज़माने का जो घर है वो, या तो हमारे दादा परदादा के टाइम से जो घर पहले से ही हमारा ख़ानदानी घर कहा जाता है. That house is treated as a ancestral house. So this is the ancestral house, but after the renovation it was like this. So they used to live in the ancestral house, and it was built in the middle of the 19th century. And no doubt it was a fairly pakka house made up of limestones and the bricks in the Mosque Street of Rameshwaram. The Second World War broke out in 1939 when I was 8 years old. So it was a time during the Second World War in the year 1939 when APJ Abdul Kalam was of 8 years old. For the reasons I have never been able to understand a sudden demand for the tamarind seeds adopted in the market. So I used to collect the seeds and sell them to a provision shop on the Mosque Street. So tamarind seeds में जिसको हम लोग इमली बोलते हैं, that is a tamarind seed. So APJ Abdul Kalam is saying that during the time of the Second World War, I did not know the major reason that why there was a sudden demand of the tamarind seeds which was created or which was erupted in the market. But as we all know that the financial condition of their family was very very weak, and only his parents were the sole alternative that they used to own and feed the children. So what they used to say, or what the APJ Abdul Kalam used to do, he used to collect the tamarind seeds. He used to collect the tamarind seeds and he used to sell that seeds at a provision store in the Mosque Street, and a day's collection would fetch me a priceless sum. So, and at the end of the day, he would earn some profit by selling the tamarind seeds into the Mosque Street. Princely sum means a generous amount, or I should say, when and I mean at that time, whatever the currency was applicable over there, whether it is an old Indian coin, or it was a 6 paisa, 5 paisa, whatever the profit he used to earn by selling that tamarind seeds, he used to keep that profit with him. My austere father used to avoid all the inessential comforts and the luxuries. So his simple and strict father. So austere means simple, strict, and severe means very serious father. He used to say that he avoided all the inessential comforts and luxuries. So the meaning over here is that they used to live the life in such a way that they used to adjust themselves and only such things that were important for living the life. They were not supposed to have all the comforts and the luxuries in their life. However, all the necessities were provided for her in terms of food, medicines, and clothes. So, whenever they are having the necessity of food, medicines, or clothes, that were treated as the basic necessities. So their parents used to fulfill that basic necessities. In fact, I would say mine was a very secure and safe childhood, both maternally and emotionally. So, and in spite of this, the childhood of APJ Abdul Kalam was very much secure and safe as compared to the childhood of their other brothers and sisters. My brother-in-law Jalaluddin would tell me stories about the war, which I would later attempt to trace in the headlines of Dinamini. So his brother-in-law used to tell him the stories of the World War, and later on, whatever the stories that were told by Jalaluddin to the APJ Abdul Kalam, that stories were already printed in the headlines. So he would just read it in the headlines of Dinamini. Dinamini is the name of a Tamil daily newspaper. Our area, being isolated, was completely unaffected by the war. So the area over where APJ Abdul Kalam used to live, that area was totally lonely and it was cut off. So that area was not that much affected by the situation of the wars. But soon India was forced to join the Allied forces and something like a state of emergency was declared. But as the situation of war was going on, so the India was forced to join the Allied forces. Allied forces means to join the armies of UK, USA, and Russia during the time of the Second World War. And because of that, a state of emergency means an emergency was declared in the whole country. The first casualty came in the form of a suspension of the train halt at Rameshwaram station. So the first loss that they came, that was an end, means suspension means the end came in the railway station of Rameshwaram. The newspapers now had to be bundled and thrown out from the moving train on the Rameshwaram roads between Rameshwaram and Dhanushkodi. So it was a situation that As the state of emergency has been declared, so the people who are working over there, they felt that they would move to a safer places to their hometown. So they were just traveling and the situation was getting worse. So what they used to do, they used to throw the bundles of newspaper from the moving train into the roads between Rameshwaram and Dhanushkodi. That forced my cousin Samsuddin, who distributed the newspaper in the Rameshwaram, to look for a helping hand to catch the bundles, and as if naturally, I felt the slot. So, and that was the only situation that has forced the brother of APJ Abdul Kalam, Samsuddin, his cousin brother, to who used to distribute and who used to sell the newspapers in the railway station. And Samsuddin was looking for a helping hand, someone who would help him so that he can catch the bundles of newspaper. It's fine. So Samsuddin helped him to earn his first wages as Abdul Kalam was looking for his wages. He's looking for something for such type of work that would give him some monetary return. So as he was searching for that sub type of a job, and he just got this work, and he started working with Samsuddin, and this was the only time which helped APJ Abdul Kalam to earn his first wages. Half a century later, I can still feel the surge of pride and earning my own money for the first time. So, no doubt, half the century has already been passed, but he can still feel that there was a sudden increase in the feeling of satisfaction that has derived from the one's achievement. So, he has just achieved something, that he has earned his first wages for the first time, and he was highly excited. Every child is born with some inherited characteristics into a specific socio-economic and emotional environment and trained in a certain ways by the figures of authority. I inherited honesty and self-discipline from my father, from my mother. I inherited faith and goodness and deep kindness, and so did my three brothers and sisters. So, as we all know, that some of the children are having the inherited characteristics from their parents, and in the same way, APJ Abdul Kalam just inherited the honesty and self-discipline from his father, and faith and goodness from his mother, and as the same characteristics were in his little brothers and sisters. I had three close friends in my childhood: Ramananda Shastri, Arvindan, and Chief Prakashan. So, APJ Abdul Kalam was having the three close friends in his childhood. The names of the three close friends were Ramananda Shastri, Arvindan, and the Shiv Prakashan. All these boys were from the Orthodox Hindu Brahmin families. So, and all the three boys, Ramananda Shastri, Arvindan, and Shiv Prakashan, they used to belong from an Orthodox, means a very strict Brahmin families. As a children, none of us were felt any difference among ourselves because of religious differences and upbringing. So, no doubt, as they were little children, so none of the parents of any of the child had given the concept or just have that type of a mindset that these children are having the difference of religions and they will not be treated equally. But all the children were treated equally by the everyone. In fact, Ramananda Shastri was the son of Pakshi Lakshman Shastri, the high priest of Rameshwaram temple. So, and in fact, Ramananda Shastri, the friend of APJ Abdul Kalam, he was a son of Pakshi Lakshman Shastri, who was the highest priest of the Rameshwaram टेम्पल, जिसको हम लोग पुजारी बोलते हैं ना, रामेश्वरम टेम्पल के जो पुजारी था उसी का बेटा था। कौन था? रामानंदा Shastra. Later on, he took over the priesthood of the Rameshwaram temple from his father. Arvindan went into the business of arranging the transport for visiting the pilgrims, and Shiv Prakashan became a catering contractor in the southern railways. So, as all the children had grew up, they started doing the business. So, Ramananda Shastri just continued the priesthood from his father, and he just took that priesthood from his father, and he just started handling the um, temple of Rameshwaram. And Arvind, then he went into the business and he started arranging the transport for visiting the pilgrims, as Rameshwaram was also treated as a pilgrim. Still, it is treated as an important pilgrimage. So they just arranged the transport facilities for the pilgrimages. And Shiv Prakashan became the catering contractor in the southern railways. During the annual Sri Sitaraman Kalyanam ceremony, our family used to arrange the booths with a special platform for carrying the idols of Lord from the temple to the marriage site, situated in the middle of the pond called Ramatirtha, which was near our house. So during the time of Sitaraman Kalyanam, it is a ceremony which was held over there. I should say Kalyanotsav means marriage festival. It is a ceremony of the depiction of the marriage between the Sita and Ram. So as the ceremony was going on, what the family of the Abdul Kalam used to do? They used to arrange the boats. They used to arrange the boats for and a special platform for carrying the idols of Lord Krishna from the temple to the marriage site, which was situated in the Ramatirtha, which was near their house. Events from the Ramayana and from the life of the prophet were the bedtime stories my mother and grandmother would tell the children in our family. So, to many of the events from the Ramayana and the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, Prophet Muhammad is the name of a big prophet of Muslim community, as he was belonging from that community. So, Prophet Muhammad and the stories of prophet means prophet, any other prophet, especially major prophet was Prophet Muhammad, who was very famous. So Prophet Muhammad and the stories of him and the Ramayana were the bedtime stories, means सोते वक्त जब छोटे बच्चों को कैसे दादी कहानी सुनाती है, like that were the bedtime stories for the children of their family. One day when I was in the 5th standard at the Rameshwaram Elementary School, a new teacher came to our class. I used to wear a cap which marked me as a Muslim, and I was sat in front of the row next to Ramananda Shastri, who wore a sacred thread. So as they were not having any kind of uniforms and all during the olden days, so whatever they were having the dress they used to wear. So this is the incident of the 5th standard, that when the children were in the 5th standard in the Rameshwaram Elementary School, the new teacher came to their class, and as Abdul Kalam used to wear a cap that are worn by the Muslims, so he was marked as a Muslim, and he used to sit near Ramananda Shastri in the front row next to Ramananda Shastri. But Ramananda Shastri was having a sacred thread. Sacred thread means जिसको हम लोग जनोई बोलते हैं ना, in the figure as well you can see over here. So जिसको हम लोग जनोई बोलते हैं, that is treated as a sacred thread. So as he used to wear a sacred thread, so that teacher was thinking that why this the child wearing the sacred thread is sitting next to a Muslim guy. The new teacher could not tolerate a Hindu priest sitting next to a Muslim boy. In accordance with our social ranking, as the new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. So when the teacher just entered into the classroom, and when he observed that a Brahmin child is sitting next to the Muslim boy, he could not digest that thing. He could not tolerate that thing. So he just, with the concept of a social ranking, means with a social discrimination, he just told to APJ Abdul Kalam to go and sit on the back bench. I felt very sad, and so did Ramananda Shastri. So after doing this, means when the teacher said Abdul Kalam to go and sit at the back bench, he felt very sad, and the same sadness was felt by Ramananda Shastri. He looked utterly downcast, sad or depressed, as I shifted to my seat in the last row. The image of him weeping when I shifted to the last row was a lasting impression on me. So he did not feel good. So when the Abdul Kalam went to the back bench, he did not feel good, nor the goodness was felt by Ramananda Shastri. After the school, we went home and told our respective parents about the incident. Lakshman Shastri summoned the teacher in our presence and told that he should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of the innocent children. So, after the school, all the children went home, and whatever the incident has happened in the school, that incident was disclosed by the children to their parents. So Abdul Kalam told to his parents that his teacher forced him to go and sit at the last bench, and the same thing was said by the Ramananda Shastri to the Paksh Lakshman Shastri. So the next day, Lakshman Shastri, means the principal, called the teacher, and in the presence of the teacher and in the presence of the children, he told the teacher that you are not supposed to spread the poison, means the bad details about social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of these innocent चिल्ड्रन। सोशल डिस्क्रिमिनेशन का जो कंसेप्ट है, मीन्स जैसे किसी को हम लोग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस देते हैं और किसी को नहीं देते, दैट कंसेप्ट शुड नॉट गो इन द माइंड्स ऑफ दीज इनोसेंट चिल्ड्रंस. He bluntly asked the teacher to either apologize or to quit the school and the island. Not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but a strong sense of conviction. Lakshman Sastri conveyed ultimately a reform to his younger teacher. So, Lakshman Sastri just told the principal that either you apologize to these children or you can just leave the school as well as to the island. And he did not regret the behavior, he did not give any importance to the behavior, and there was a strong opinion and belief that was conveyed by the Lakshman Shastra to the children as well as to the parents. On the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was very strict in the terms of segregation of different social groups. However, my science teacher Sri Subramaniam Iyer, though an orthodox Brahmin with a conservative wife, was something of a rebel. So he is saying that though they were belonging from the very short small family and they were having a small town, they were living in the small town, but there was no concept of separation or discrimination between any of them. However, the science teacher of APJ Abdul Kalam was belonging from a very strict religious, he was a very strict religious person, and he also believed, he also was a Brahmin, and he was having a very traditional wife, and his wife was in a position to the Shiv Subramaniam Iyer. He said his best to break social barriers so the people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. So he just said that no one is supposed to spread the concept of social inequality in the minds of this type of children. He used to spend hours with APJ Abdul Kalam and used to say, Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are on par with highly educated people of the big cities. So Shiv Subramaniam Iyer was feeling that APJ Abdul Kalam is having a sharp mind, and so he was just trying to say that he want to develop the concept or he want to develop the mind of APJ Abdul Kalam in such that he should be at the same level of the students who are studying in the higher cities, of the educated people of metro cities. One day he invited me to his home for the meal. His wife was horrified, and the idea of a Muslim boy being invited to dinner in her ritual pure kitchen. So one day Shiv Subramaniam Iyer just invited APJ Abdul Kalam for the dinner. So the wife of Shiv Subramaniam Iyer was highly again against of this thing that a Muslim boy will be invited for a dinner into his pure kitchen, जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं ना कि शुद्ध किचन, और आई शुड से which was protected by the influence and observance of the religion, such type of a kitchen, पवित्र जिन्हें हम लोग गुजराती में बोलते हैं ना, that is treated as a pure kitchen. She refused to serve me in her kitchen, and when APJ Abdul Kalam went to their house for the dinner, the wife of Shiv Subramaniam Iyer just rejected that she will not serve the food to APJ Abdul Kalam. Shiv Subramaniam Iyer was not perturbed, means he was not at all upset, nor he did got angry on his wife, but instead of that he just served APJ Abdul Kalam with his own hands, and he just sat next to the APJ Abdul Kalam for his dinner. His wife watched us from behind the kitchen door. I wondered whether she was observed of any difference in the way I ate, drank water, or cleaned the floor after the meal. When I was leaving his house, Sri Subramaniam Iyer invited me to join him for the dinner again the next weekend. So the wife of Shiv Subramaniam Iyer was watching APJ Abdul Kalam from the back kitchen door, and APJ Abdul Kalam was thinking that what is the difference she is trying to observe, that the way he used to eat rice, or the way he used to drink the water, or the way he used to clean the floor after the meal. But when APJ Abdul Kalam was leaving the house of Shiv Subramaniam Iyer after the meal, Shiv Subramaniam Iyer invited APJ Abdul Kalam for the meal again the next weekend. Observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset, saying, once you decide to change the system, such problems can be confronted. So, APJ Abdul Kalam was highly hesitant that the wife of Shiv Subramaniam Iyer was totally against of these things. So, he was just little bit worried. So, C. Subramaniam Iyer is saying to the Abdul Kalam that once you decide to change the system, you should be having that guts to face these types of problems. So, when APJ Abdul Kalam visited his house next week, C. Subramaniam Iyer's wife took me inside her kitchen and told me with her own hands. So, next time, during the next weekend, when APJ Abdul Kalam went to the house of C. Subramaniam Iyer for the dinner, the wife of APJ C. Subramaniam Iyer just served the food with her own hands. Then the Second World War was over and the India's freedom was imminent. India will build their own India, declared Gandhiji. The whole country was filled with unprecedented optimism. So, and at that time, the Second World War came to an end, and it was the time when India was supposed to get the independence, and the Gandhiji just declared that whatever they have done, that was unprecedented, means that was never done and that was never known before by anyone of them, and they were having a cheer that India will get the independence. He quoted Khalil Gibran is, to my hesitant mother, your children are not your children, they are the sons and daughters of life going for itself. They come through you but do not from you. You may give them your love, but you're not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. So the at the last, he just gave the thought of quote of Khalil Gibran that whatever the children are or whoever the children are, they are not particularly your children, but they are the sons and daughters of the whole desire for itself, and they are not coming through you. They are coming through you, but they are not coming from you. And you can just have your thoughts, but you cannot. For that, the children is having their own thoughts. You are supposed to copy the meanings in the fair book, and question answers I will forward it to you. So just write down the question answers in the fair book. Thank you.